Welcome everyone to the Live Team Alliance training session for Sunday, July 21st, 2019. Time right now is approximately 9:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I appreciate everyone's patience getting started a little later than usual. Well, actually much later. But I'll just act like it's a little bit later. But we are here nevertheless. And tonight is going to be an awesome training, as usual. Before we get started, I would like to welcome our new students, of course. Those of you who are joining us in training for the first time, you have definitely made a wise decision by choosing to train here with us. There's going to be a great deal of information that's going to be shared with you regarding the market. You're going to learn a lot about how to actually study and read the market, and then ultimately how to turn that information into profits. We train at a very high intensity here. The focus is the most important thing that you're developing outside of patience and discipline. So your ability to observe the market and to study and to learn how to interpret and to wait. These are things that are going to be a pivotal part of your process as you learn the skill of interpretation in the market. The market is also a mirror. So in addition to you learning about the market and, beginning to understand it from the perspective of observation and interpretation, but the market is also going to show you yourself during this training process. And what I mean by that is it's going to reveal to you the levels of patience and discipline that you don't have. It ain't going to show you what you have. It's going to show you what you don't have yet. Patience and discipline are the two primary things that are not optional. You have to have those two things in order to become successful trading. That's it. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Doesn't matter what strategy you might be using. Does not make a difference. If you don't have patience and you don't learn how to develop discipline, you're going to lose anyway. So it's that important. Now, during the process of the market showing you these things, you're in the right environment. You're in the right place to rectify the lack of discipline and the lack of patience. And I cannot stress enough how the training process itself is going to lead you to freedom and to everything that it is that you ultimately want to accomplish by trading. Okay, trading is a very powerful vehicle. The skill of trading is like the meat and potatoes. It's the very thing that is going to be responsible for you succeeding pretty much at will, I'll say. And I don't mean at will from the perspective of, hey, I feel like making $1,000 today. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about understanding what the market is willing to give. That's the key point. It's not about what you want from the market. It's about what you see the market positioning itself to give. That's the question. Are you able to recognize when the market is in position to give it up? Not, oh, well, I'm going to get on the charts today. I'm going to make me some money. If you go into this with that attitude, I assure you that you won't make money. Because if you have the ego involved in this process, you're going to lose. Okay? Make no mistake about it. You're going to lose. So just sit back, relax, take it all in, follow instructions, and don't try to do it your way. Do it the way that it is broken down and it is instructed for you to do, because there is definitely a method to all the madness that you'll soon be exposed to. There's a lot that goes on. We have a lot of fun during the process, and it's really remarkable when it's all said and done. But I assure you, if you try to deviate away from what you're being trained to do, it's going to be a long road for you that you don't have to be on. Okay? The fastest way to do this is to slow yourself down during the process. Don't try to speed it up. Don't try to shortcut it. Don't try to add to it or take away from it. Leave it alone and just do as you're instructed to do. So the first instruction, especially if you're brand new, video number 336, video number 390, and video number 301. I want you to watch those 3 trainings. Once you get to 301, it needs to be on repeat from that point forward. Any other training that you watch is going to be reinforcing what you learned in number 301. Okay, that's why I'm saving it for last during those 3. So 336, first one, then 390, and then 301, in that order. Once you get to 301, that needs to remain on repeat. You also need to invest in some earbuds. You can get them on eBay. I don't care where you get them from. Get yourself a pair of earbuds, okay? And even if you can't watch the training, you need to listen to it daily. Literally. Put your earbuds in, even if you only got one in. I don't care how you have to do it, just figure it out. Earbuds, press play on 301 on repeat. Every single day. Just do it. Well, Mark, why are you saying to do it? Don't ask me why. Just do it, okay? You'll understand later. Or every question that you have is going to be answered in 301. And it ain't going to be answered the first day either. So you'll have a bunch of questions, and then when you ask the questions, the answer is going to come probably in the next time that you listen to the training. Something that you had from the last time you heard it will be answered the next time that you listen or watch it. That's just how it works. All right? All right, so we're going to get into some training for tonight. I usually give like a little basic explanation of the platform just so that you can have an idea and some guidance of what you're looking at if you're new. So we're going to do that very quickly because I want to get to some very important things for tonight's training. I'm looking at the market right now because I'm looking to see what it's actually doing right now. All right, before we start, let me just watch something real quick. And this, like what I'm doing now, this is what you're going to be doing. Just watching. Okay, so I will see now that fast. I already know what type of environment that we're in, and we're not quite where we need to be just yet. Okay, so just to give a basic synopsis of the platform, you know what the terminologies kind of mean. You're going to hear me say the market. Anytime I make reference to the market, what I'm referring to is the underlying market that the instrument that we trade is based upon. The instrument that we trade are 5-minute binary options on this platform. This is the Nadex platform. If you look up here in this area, this is called the binary ladder. It's called the ladder because you see that the numbers are stair-stepping down. You see? We're gonna get a brand new set of binaries right now because we're just starting out at the new 5-minute period. So you can see that the new set of binaries just posted. You see that it expires at 10:05 p.m. That means 5 minutes from now. If you look at the symbol, it says GBP/USD. That stands for Great British Pound versus the US dollar. That's the market that we watch. The number right next to it represents the strike price of the option, meaning the line in the sand of the option. Okay? So for example, if you look at where the current price area of the market is, and I'm kind of going to be doing like this tonight, like you'll see me boxing areas and stuff on the chart, because I want to give a visual of what I'm saying so that you understand it visually, and then you make the connection to it so that you get to the point where even if I took the chart away completely, you'll understand. So you'll get it by looking at the chart, and you'll have it so that you don't even need the chart. That's how powerful this skill is. Okay? So what I'm doing now, I'm just kind of showing you the area where the current pricing is of the market itself. Where you see the candle currently, if you look to the right over here, this box with the white number in it, that represents the GBP USD on the chart, okay? That number is also up here where it says indicative price. That's also the number of, or I should say the price of the pound, okay? You can see from this area, the reason that I boxed this in is because of the strike price of this area right now. If you look at kind of where the pricing is, you see how the candles are hovering in this area where this line is? This line represents the same line up here, or I should say the same option. This line is an option. It's the 2505. It's the one that's in the middle up here on the binary ladder, okay? This is the most relevant strike price right now. Why? Because that's where the price is concentrated the most. It's the reason that you even have the strike prices where they are. Where price is right now is the reason that the 2505 is in the middle. Like what I'm doing right now, I'm breaking down the way that the price of the market transcends into the strike prices of the options. The reason that these numbers are what they are is because of where this is. This 25049, that price is the market itself. It's also down here on the chart. Now, very quickly, down here on the chart, the number, this moves slightly different than it does up here where the indicative price is. They're the same number, but the movement is different down here on the chart versus looking at the actual indicative price. So the number that we're always going to go by when we study and when we observe is always going to be the indicative price, not the one on the chart. Okay, the one on the chart moves slightly different than the actual indicative. So the one we go by is the actual indicative price. Okay, so understand that when you're looking at the chart and the visual representation of what the price is doing relative to the strikes, you can easily and quickly identify which strike price is relevant at the time. And I'm going into this right away because I've been receiving questions about this in particular from a number of students. Well, Mark, how do you know what strike price? It's very easy to determine the strike price. Just look at where the price is. Look at where the market is. You see where the market is? What line is it closest to? It's closest to this line. You'll even know by looking at the option pricing. When you look at the option pricing, whichever option has pricing on it, that's the option. And what I mean by pricing, if you look right now, there's pricing on this option. Even up here, there's still pricing, even though it's priced out. See how there's no pricing nowhere else? None of the other options have any pricing on them because none of them are relevant at all. You see? The only trade that you could have even taken at all would have been the 2505 at any point during the binary just now. That's why that's all the pricing that you saw. You didn't see any other pricing because this strike price is the one that's relevant. You see? So it becomes even easier to do because of the way that we're waiting for the environment in the market to be. What we're waiting to see is a slow environment in the market, a slow condition. And this is actually the first phase of the protocol that we use. Okay? So you see how recognition of the strike price, understanding of the environment of the market, and then ultimately understanding how behavior plays its role within the overall market. And behavior just simply means, well, how is the price moving relative to this strike? And specifically, I'm going into behavior in more detail right now. This is not just behavior as far as the end of the binary. We know that that's part of the protocol. Right now, I'm talking about overall market behavior. if you just look at what the market is doing right now, for example, you see how I have this area boxed in? Like I can even bring it over here. What strike price is relevant during this entire area here on the chart? Just look at it. It's this one. It's 25.05. So if you look at how the market is either moving towards or away from or across this line, because that's what it's doing, is it not? Over here, it was positioned underneath the line. Here, price moved back towards the line. Here, it moved away from the line and back towards the line. Here, it moved away from the line. Where it's positioned now, it's still moving away from the line. But which line? This line. So you know which strike price is relevant based on where the positioning of the market actually is. And that's what you'll hear me make reference to in this training and in subsequent trainings that we're going to do. The positioning of the market. So I'm kind of giving you a quick way to glance at the market and know immediately, okay, I know which strike price would be the most relevant one. Let me look and see what the actual overall behavior looks like. You see? And you know that the behavior that we don't like to see is jerk. So jerk is something that is reflected throughout the overall market. It's the most relevant at the end of the binary. That's why when you apply the protocol and you are in phase 2 and you're looking at behavior, when you're in phase 2, what you're actually waiting for is for the market to present good behavior, because you're observing the last minute of the binary, which is the most important one. All of the other ones are there, but all of the other ones only give you guidance if you're looking at where they are relative to the strike price. And really what you're doing by doing this visual is you're looking at the positioning of the price. This is what we're going into in tonight's training. The positioning. You'll hear me say, is the market in position? You'll hear me say, the market's out of position. You'll hear me say, the market is getting in position. You'll hear me say, the market needs to get in position. The key word is in position. So that is a specific thing that the market does. If it's out of position, you know that it's not relevant as far as where it is to any strike price, because the strike price is where the binaries are located, you see? So if it's not in position relative to a binary, that means that there is no possibility for any type of trade setting up. So even though the environment of the market, which we know that we want to see as a slow condition or a slow environment, even though that's present, it doesn't mean that the market's in position, does it? No. So that means that you need to wait until the market gets in position even after the behavior is present. You see? Let me give you an example. If you're watching and just look at what it's doing right now. This is the perfect example right here to use. Look. I want you to look at this. And this right here is going to be an eye-opener for you. Now, if you look at the position of the market over the last 3 minutes, right? The market pretty much is in a holding position, isn't it? It's holding right in this area. How do I know that? Because look at the range of the movement. The range of the movement right here is about 1 micropip. It's not moving any further than that right now. It did it for this minute. It's doing it now. You see? So the market ebbs and flows, and what it does is when it moves, it either moves and stays in position, or it moves and does something else. It's doing one or the other. It can move and move back, or it can move and remain. And the duration of the movement when it moves and remains in position, what the market does is it creates a range of movement. And I know a lot of y'all are going to like this, what I'm talking about now, because you guys are starting to see it on your own, even without me saying that. But the range of the movement is relevant. It's not something that you are basing a decision off of. It's something that you're using to interpret the actual overall behavior in the market. When you see that the range is tightening up and it's small, like right now, we're in a 2 micropip range. But right now, the market's out of position. Why did I say the market's out of position? Why did I say that? Someone tell me that. I want to hear your responses to that. Why did I say the market is out of position? Why did I say that just now? Dallas said jerk. Romeo said away from the strike. Adam, it's not near a strike. Tiffany, relative to the strike, it's out of position. Let's go. Now, you guys, especially if you're new, you might be wondering, how does everybody know that? Because this is what we do already. You see, it's like certain things that we do, we don't necessarily need to talk about. But the reason that I'm talking about it is because by you drawing your attention and your focus to this specific thing that we're going over right now, it's going to clarify other questions that you had. You know, man, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the behavior is right now. That was a jerk. Oh, let me look at this one. That was, yeah, that's a DQ. That's a back tick. See, what you're doing when you do that, you're going through what you understand about the process. You understand? That's why you do that. It's just like if I ask you a question, you might tell me a response that is in phase 3, but my question might be about phase 2. I might be asking you about behavior, and you'll say, oh, back tick. Or you'll say, well, the distance. It's like you're not getting confused, but in your mind, you're trying to get a grasp on you understanding the process. And you have to go through that. That's a natural thing. It's not that you're doing it wrong, because you can't do it wrong. What you're learning how to do is to navigate the process. That's it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you should be doing. You keep doing that until you don't do that no more. So I don't want you to feel bad when you're asking the same question over and over again. Remember, every time that you keep asking the same question, what is that that's actually going on with you? What is your brain trying to do when you keep repeating the same question? What's your brain doing? Watch the response to this. Look at what Eric said. Resisting. How do they know this? How do these people know this? Like for new people, this is what the students are saying. You understand? So I want you to, whenever you have questions about something, you have to ask, because there's going to be a lot of clarity that comes out of it, not just for you. That's for all of us. Just like what we're talking about right now. If you just look at what I'm showing you right now, just as an example. Here, just look at this. Just look at this. If you just look at this right here, normally what someone would do when they look at this, they're looking at the candles. They're like, oh, it's moving sideways. That's as far as they'll go. Oh, it's moving sideways. This says a lot more than sideways. This says way more than just sideways. This right here is a level of stability in the market. What this whole thing is right here, this is a level of stability in the market right now. Right now. The only thing that is going on at this point is that it's out of position. And actually, it's trying to transition to move in position, if you watch it. If you actually look at what it's doing right now, and we're going to just keep watching. Like this is going to be a powerful training because I'm making it visual. Like I'm using the chart on purpose. because the visual helps you, especially if you're newer to, you know, what I'm talking about now. Like, I know that this is new for some of you. Even though we do this already, this is the first time that I've really gone into more detail regarding positioning, just to help you guys understand. Now, look, what it's actually doing right now is transitioning. Now, every time that the market moves, when you're in a slow environment, it's moving somewhere, and then it is moving into position somewhere. The question is it getting into position relevant to a strike price? And then once it is in position, is the behavior holding? Because if the behavior is holding, that means when it moves in position, it will do what? Tell me. If it moves in position, it will do what? Look at what Tiffany says. Remain. Y'all are with me. Romeo, hold. Dallas, hold. Mick, hold. Come on, man. This is what I'm talking about. Like, see, this is because we do this already. It's not new. It's just exposure. I'm just exposing you to a different tool to use. Like right now, what I'm giving you is a tool. This is a visual tool that you can use on the chart. And this will help many of you who look at the chart and get confused by the candles. If you look at what I'm doing right now, I'm not really focusing on the candles, am I? What am I focusing on? What am I actually focusing on right now? Not the candles. What's my focus on? Come on. The price. There we are. That's it. The price, the positioning of the market. That's what I'm looking at. Ain't got nothing to do with the candles right now. It has nothing to do with direction. It's position. You see? Just like right now, you see how the price is sitting right there on the strike? When it's just sitting on the strike like that, you know that it's out of position. But you also know that the behavior that we want is present. We know that it's holding. So when you see it sitting on the strike like this as an example, what happens when it actually begins to move? What happens if it were to move in the last minute and meet parameters? What would happen? What would your confidence be like if it met parameters at this point with this behavior present? You're following me, right? You see, so this is what you're waiting to see. This exercise right here is giving you clarity on how you wait for it to get in position. Mind you, I haven't even spoken about any phase yet. I don't have to. You already know what phase you're in. And right now you have a tool, once again, to use in order to recognize when the market actually gets in position and then what it means. See, you're seeing that it's out of position. Even though it's on the strike, it's very close to the strike price, it's out of position. It's not there yet. You see? But what is there? What is there? Even though it's out of position, look at what JT said. Stability. Come on, man. And that's a good question. Kev said, would you put position in phase 2? That's an excellent question. I'm going to let y'all answer that. What would y'all say that this exercise would be as far as the phases go? Where would you place this? Oh, it's unanimous too. It's unanimous. Come on, let's go. Let's go. That's hard. Mind you, I haven't said a word yet about any of the phases. Come on, man. Come on. I said something interesting. I don't know if it was last training or the one before that, but I said that we're always in phase 3. You remember me saying that? We're always in phase 3. See, like that right there, you don't understand until you begin to actually train. And what I mean by that is you literally need to continuously just listen to 301 until the light bulb comes on. Whatever you're not clear on, you get clarity from through the repetition. You don't get clarity by watching it and getting it right away. You're not supposed to get it right away. Your brain is not even letting in the information yet. This is why you have to train at the subconscious level. You have to. Because you're going to begin to understand, and you're not going to know why you're understanding. It's just out of nowhere. Boom. Oh, I get it now. Oh, oh my goodness. It happens just like that. You just start understanding it, and you're like, damn. Damn, I get it. And the more that you get it, the easier it becomes to execute the process. Come on, man. This is hard. Look at what Matthew just said. He said, what we have right now is what I'm looking for. Phases 1 and 2 with the option price exercise. See, this is stuff that we do already. And you see how it's just another piece or another tool that you just add on, but it's not there to confuse you about anything. It's actually bringing clarity, ain't it? Don't this bring a lot of clarity to you? How often do you see what is going on right now? You're like, dang, man, you know, we don't have pricing. Or, you know, the market is hugging that strike price. Market might be hugging the strike price, but it's stable. And when the market is stable, it's only a matter of time before it gets in position. All you got to do is wait. When the market gets in position, it comes. Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. This is how it happens. But see, if you're, you know, focusing your attention on the other things that don't require as much focus, that's when you'll kind of put yourself in position to be frustrated by the process. Because you're like, dang, man, you know, I ain't get a trade yet. You're not supposed to have a trade yet. The only time you're supposed to get a trade is when the market gives you one. And the market is going to give you one, but you need to be able to recognize the right environment and the right behavior first. You see? That's what this exercise also does for you. It speeds up that process. It speeds up the process of you recognizing where the market is actually getting in position and if it's getting in position. And look at how beautiful the market is. This is what it does. Look, watch this. When you're in phase 1, waiting for the speed to slow down, you'll notice that the way that the price is moving, it ain't in position nowhere. It's moving everywhere. If you had a strike price that you were looking at, you'll see the price and you'll see the candles going across the strike, going across, maybe sometimes going across 2 strikes, then coming back down to 1, then going back up to the second. It's doing too much. You instantly know that you're in phase 1. It's too much speed. So you don't have to go and damn, you know, man, I saw 2 micropips. Is it too fast? You won't even have to do that. Because I know that some of you do that. You're like, well, it seems like it's 1 micropip I'm seeing the most, but I'm seeing some 2s and 3s. And you'll go through that process. You'll give yourself a headache trying to be technical about the process. So all of these tools are intended to help to simplify the whole thing. The bottom line is all we need is the market to become stable. Once the market becomes stable, then it gets in position. Once it gets in position relative to a strike, it's bang, bang. That's when the trade comes. See, and you get permission, MRMH, when you see it manifested. Ah, See, so MRMH is simply the observation of the trade setting up in the right environment with the right behavior. In other words, MRMH is the confirmation that a trade set up at the right time. That's what it is. That's what it is. So, man, like this is powerful stuff. It really is. This is powerful stuff. Like we talking about the market moving and holding. Moving and holding it transcends the whole market. In other words, the market creates that condition. So move and hold becomes an actual condition in the market. Y'all didn't hear me. Y'all didn't catch that. Move and hold becomes an actual condition in the market. Mick said, when OP syncs with all parameters validated and in position. Mango said, the real struggle, once you understand, is not overtrading and being patient and disciplined. Bingo. Bingo. Yep. Another thing that patience helps you to deal with is hesitation. You won't hesitate when you wait. You know when you hesitate? You hesitate when you become anxious. And there is a very thin line between hesitating and being eager to do it. One side is going to win out. The reason that you're hesitating in the first place is because you were eager to do it first. So that's kind of your way of like, nah, let me not be thirsty. But now you're saying, let me not be thirsty at the wrong time. You're saying that when the trade comes. And if you miss it, it amplifies that whole process again. So now it puts you in a loop where it's like, well, damn, I missed that one. Now you got FOMO. And this just happened to someone recently. And I think y'all know who I'm talking about. We've been talking about it pretty much all weekend. This is good stuff. This is good stuff, man. Wendell said, observation will show you when it's into transition to be in position. Yes. Yes. I know. Walker said he's still sensitive about it. I know, because it's still fresh. But this, you're going to get through it. And this is how you're going to get through it. Head on. That's what we, like anytime you do something or like something happens, the way to get through it, the fastest way is to just constantly keep it in your face until it goes away. Because it's like by keeping it in your face, you get so much more clarity on what you actually did. And then it just becomes a part of you. That whole thing that you did now becomes so embedded in you that you never do it again. And then eventually, it's just in the rear view, and it's like, oh, I don't even remember doing that. That's how it goes, man. That is how it goes. Like, I can't tell you how many times I used to lose. Like, I used to lose so much that it was like, just imagine, how someone be like, nah, you can't lose 5 in a row. You can't lose 10 in a row. Imagine just losing 5 in a row. With real money, though. And in your mind, you don't even think that you revenge trading. You don't think that you're revenge trading. You think you still regular trading. 5 in a row. And it's like, huh? Telling you, man. So it's stuff like that. It's just straight retarded stuff that I've done in the past that led up to me developing the patience that I needed to have for now. And we going on a couple of years now of that patience and that discipline level being so high. And it's because of observation, study, and training. That's what it is. That's what it. I don't stop doing that. But Mark, you don't need to train. No, you think I don't need to train. I need to train more than you. Shoot, I'm trying to keep it. Oh my goodness. It's one of them things, man. It's just like if you got a jumper. Mess around and like take a summer off. See what happens to your jumper. You come back on the court and you like, wait, hold up. How'd I miss that? He said, rub some tussin on it, you'll be all right. Oh, man. Mick said, when it's in sync, we have the time to see it. Why rush? Why hesitate? Adam said, yeah, but every time something like this happens to him, we get solid training, so I'm not telling him what to do, but... Yeah, that's horrible, Adam. That's terrible. JT said he needs to train more than me. Oh man, a couple people are getting close. I forgot who I said something about. Somebody said something crazy in the chat over the weekend. Oh, I think it was Tyler. Tyler said he got a Bluetooth speaker in the shower. And I felt some kind of way about that. Then he had the nerve to take a picture and post it. I was like, all right. All right, let me go get a damn Bluetooth speaker and put it in my shower. Shit. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you know. So it's like the more insane that it is, the crazier the training is, the more intense. Adam said it was him first, though. Oh snap! But I kid you not, I'm telling you, it'll be responsible for your level of execution being top notch. Top notch. Wendell said, I used to wake up having dreams I'm in live training. Yes, that's what I'll talk about. Yes. Tyler said, I always have a training played throughout the house. Then I was like, why not in the shower too? Yes. Yes. Adam said he never get credit. All right, Adam had it first. There you go, Adam. Slav said, I've been training so much, I don't know how I still haven't had a dream about trading. It's going to come. It is going to, I assure you, you're going to dream about it. I dreamt about it last night. I kid you not. I woke up, I said, babe, I told my wife, I said, babe, I had a beautiful dream. She thought she was in it. I was like, nah, not this time. I was like, not this time, baby. Slav said, you have any clue how weird it will be? My siblings hear me listen to training with a loudspeaker in the shower and think I'm crazy. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. That's exactly what I want them to do. I want them to be getting mad at you. Jay Carly said, I'll be like, move hold. It held out all out. Yes, it will. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she thought she was in it. I was like, nah. It's like, As y'all can copy my shit while I'm learning about range and getting zestfully clean. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's amazing. Matthew said he said that he thought he saw MRMH on TV. He had to rewind because I caught it at a glance. Turns out it was MRMFH for some law firm. Oh snap! I forgot who it was. Somebody sent a picture. It was a truck that had 301 on the front of the truck. I forgot who it was. Somebody put it in the chat. Had the number 301 on the front. And he was like, yeah, I'm in the zone. That's what I'm talking about, man. Stacy said, when them checks start coming in, no one will be mad. Facts. Facts. Exactly. Exactly. They're going to start being like, why are you not training? Yeah, somebody does have a light. Yeah, I saw that. I think that's a sign. Crazy. Jay Carter says she walk around the job in the elevator with the training on speaker. I don't even bother with my earbuds. Everybody can get it. And in the car. Yo, Daniel, I was thinking that. I was thinking the same thing. He said Adam is crazy who uses zest. Yo, I was thinking the same thing because as soon as he said it, I was like, oh man, zest fully clean. I started singing it in my head. But I'm like, wait, zestfully, that's like the 80s. Like the last time I saw that commercial, it had to be like 89. You're not fully clean unless you're zestfully clean. Wow. So if you use zest, that means you use Coast and Irish Spring. Like they in the same family, right? Them soaps are strong, man. You mess around with some of them soaps, get a rash from a soap. Yo, it could be having all kind of perfumes in it. Like, damn. Like, wait, I thought I washed up. Got a rash. Oh snap! Then you need some what is it? What's that ointment called? Some AD ointment? A&D. What's this you sending me? Let me see what this is. Oh, for some good soap. Alright, yeah, some organic soap. Eric is funny. Dr. Squatch. I found a really good soap too from what's the thing called? There's a place called Kiehl's. Yeah, Kiehl's. They have like it's like dermatology grade type of stuff, like for your face and washes and body washes and all that type of stuff. But I found the soap there, but it's like $15 for one bar. You know what I'm saying? So, but I was like, let me just try it. Yo, that soap is the truth. It literally does everything. First of all, it's glycerin. So glycerin soap is better for your skin because it doesn't dry it out. That's one. And it has stuff in it that does what's it called when you do the thing to your skin? You know what I'm talking about. Like people use loofahs for them. Thank you. Exfoliate. Jesus. Everybody was like, exfoliate, Mark. Yo, they typed it all at the same time. Yes. And, this is crazy. Why are we talking about soap right now? We talk about literally everything on here. If it ain't soap, it's food. Unbelievable. This is all Adam's fault. Talk about zestfully clean. So here we go again. Now, if you look at like what's happening here now, right? Look at this. Now, tell me what's not wrong, but why don't we have anything going on because of this? Like, what's going on here? Just talk about this. Give me your thoughts on this right now. Y'all are crazy. Bingo. Once again, out of position, not in position. Yes. Not in position. Yep. See, and this, so you kind of see, excuse me, what this exercise does for you as far as identifying stability. So even though it's out of position right now, you know that by looking at this behavior, that the market is actually in the right environment and the behavior is present. You know that already. So move and hold. See, when the market moves in position, because of the behavior that we're seeing, what is it likely to do? Bingo. Tiffany off the rip. Hold. You see? I like how he said that. Slav said market looking really clean this session. It's looking zestfully clean, isn't it? That's gonna go on all night now. Just because of that. See, you finally got credit, Adam. Can't nobody take that one. You got the full credit on that one. Yep, this is excellent. This is excellent. So, like, this is stuff, too, that I know some of you also study when you're looking at, like you're watching to see what the distance is. Like, for example, right now the distance is about 7 micropips away from this strike. You're looking at that, and then you're measuring what the pricing is on the option. And that's giving you a lot of information also, because it gives you more guidance into how the market gets in sync, right? Y'all understand what I'm talking about? Like Walker and Mick in particular, they like to focus on this type of observation and this type of study. And it's not even that it's a more advanced way of looking at things. It's just something to observe and to look at that gives you more clarity on when the market is in sync, what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that you never get fooled, because sometimes when the market is transitioning, the transition takes place sometimes after the fact with the market, and you see it in the option pricing first. You see transitioning in option pricing. That's why the option pricing exercise is so powerful. Because when the market is stable like this, when you do the OPE, it's telling you everything. Like the option pricing exercise is going to tell you whether or not there is not only stability present, but if it's in sync. That's what the OPE does. This right here is letting you know why it's out of sync. It's out of sync because the market is out of position. Isn't that, like, that is amazing? You see how that syncs up together? You know either way, whether you're using this exercise, whether you're doing the OPE, whether you're applying just the protocol. Like right now, you in phase 3, you apply the parameters, it's DQ. It's DQ, even though phases 1 and 2 are confirmed. Phase 3, you can't confirm yet, it's disqualified. No trade is setting up. It's not a valid trade setting up at all. And you know the why. You use this tool, you know why. Market's out of position. You use the option pricing exercise, you know why. Ain't no pricing. Out of sync. Come on, man, like this is powerful stuff. You have all of these different ways of identifying stability and knowing when the market's not in sync yet. You see? You know when it's not in sync. You know that if it's not in sync, you wait for it to become in sync, and you're able to spot when the market transitions. And if the market is transitioning, you're not going to get caught up in a transition if it decides to transition out of the behavior. You see? That's how you don't get caught up. Because the market eventually will move, and when it moves, you want to make sure that the movement is still within the right behavior. You want to make sure that the behavior is still present in that movement, so that when it moves in position, and then you know what the behavior and the follow-through movement is going to be. Because that behavior is present, and the environment is present. But when you know, it's just like if you see the price moving in position, but it's too fast. It'll move in position and just as quickly move out of position. It's not going to remain in position because there's too much speed. And the speed is hiding the true behavior. You see? So it's not stable movement. It'll be erratic movement. That's why we stay away from speed, because it hides the real behavior of the market. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. Slides is finishing my coffee and macaroons. He said they're zest delicious, but the coffee helps. Shawnee said, Mark, can stability be nuanced? Like beauty is in the eye of the beholder kind of way, or is stability rules-based? Stability is binary. You know what I mean by that? Let me see what you say in response to that. When I say stability is binary, what do I mean? Yes, exactly. It's either stable or it's not. Now, those are facts, right? When we say that it's not has nuances. And this is going to go into where you're going. Stability itself doesn't need a nuance, because if it's there, it's there. If it's not stable, those are the nuances, because it could be transitioning into stability. That's a nuance that we can spot. And if it's not stable, it's very easy for us to spot that. Erratic behavior, jerk. It's not stable. But when the market is transitioning into stability, we can also detect that. And that's where that little tricky area is, because it can transition into and out of stability. And that's where the nuances are that you're asking about. Because I understood your question as soon as you asked it. So you're like, well, you know, are there nuances for stability? Not for stability itself, no. For instability, yes, because instability can be reflected by transitioning either to or from stability. Or I should say into or out of stability. And that's why everything that we do is remarkable, because we're able to spot it. See, like all of these tools help, just like observation. What do I always say about observation mode? We always in it. You're always in observation mode. So there's never a time when you're like, all right, we have this, so I'm just going to wait for this to come. It's never that. It's we have this, and I'm going to watch to see if this comes. If it does come, I'm still backing that up with my understanding of whether or not the stability is present or not. In other words, is the stability really present, or is it transitioning? What am I seeing that would give me indication that it could be transitioning out of stability right now? Oh, option pricing looking funny. You know that right there is an immediate tip-off. You're like, nah. Why the option pricing doing that? What is that? And the next thing you know, you see a pop, and you're like, oh, that's what that was. You see, so we pick up on all of that. We pick up on all of it. This is why MRMH is so important. Because when you have MRMH, it removes the need for you to try to figure out where you are during the process, so you don't have to always navigate using your own ability. Just let MRMH do everything for you. It's kind of like having, not even kind of, it is like having full-blown GPS. You got GPS, she like turn left, turn right. There's a fork in the road, stay to the left. There's a fork in the road, stay to the second lane on the right. This is how GPS be talking to you. That's what MRMH is doing. Because you're going through every step throughout the process, and you're not missing anything. You might see a trade look like it's about to set up, and then there's a back tick. Is it a valid trade? No. So if it's a valid trade, is it MRMH just because it ended with moving whole? No. That back tick means something. That back tick could be the first indication that there's instability. Boom. Next binary, you see that the market just now is doing something else. And you're like, oh, snap, man. Thank God for the parameters. Thank God for the protocol. Now you're thanking God for everything, because you see how it kept you out of everything that took place afterwards. Mango said, when the market is in sync, is distance still relevant? Of course. Of course. Distance has everything to do with position. Look, let's look at this right now. What's the distance right now of the price away from this strike price? What's the distance? 6. Now you see that it's 5. Now it's 4. Look at your option price. Do you see that? So the fact that the distance and the option pricing, they're actually syncing up right now. Because if you 4 micropips, 5 micropips away, Your pricing is supposed to be exactly where you see it right now. Now, don't even look at this right now as far as, oh, but it's moving up towards the strike. I'm just talking about the position, the distance away from the strike. If you look at where it is and look at the option pricing, the distance is the reason you have option pricing. You see? So what begins to happen is right now the position of the market is at a spot, right? But you know that the market, with the behavior that we currently have, is either going to move and hold its position or it's not. So right now, what we're seeing is that the market has been overall holding this position. It began to move here. It moved slightly here, and then it made its way up here. And you see right now it's staying right in that same area. Right now, it's 3 micropips away from the strike. And look, we got 2 minutes and change left. So this is a good exercise right now to do. Watch. We're just going to simply observe. So right now, if you look at where the market moved in position to, we'll say it moved right within the 3 to 5 micropip range of the strike right here. 3 to 5. Right now it's 5. It's back at 5, and because of the amount of time left now on the clock, look at the pricing on the option. You see? But look at what also is happening. The market is also creating a range. Because right now where it is the same place where it started from over here. It was in this position the whole time. It was in this position, then it moved. Came up here, didn't hold. It didn't hold this position up here. It came back to this position here. So you can see how it's moving, and now it's actually transitioning. Because when it's moving, it's not holding at this current time. Now it's creating a range. And what will happen now is, look at where the position of the market is, and then look at what it does. Like now we're coming on the last minute of the binary. Now you do what you normally do, study the behavior of the last minute. Just watch. Because remember, what you're trying to always know is the behavior still present? That's always going to be the question. And see, this is actually telling you a lot of information. Now, look, that was moving hold. Behavior is still present, but the range is bigger. Look at where the range is. The range now, you went from 69 down to 2506. That's 9 micropips. So now if you're looking at the way that the market is positioning itself, the range is larger. It has more room to move now. It has more room to move around. And if you look at it relative to a strike, it's still out of position. So it's out of position, meaning it's still out of sync. That's why when you came over here, when your pricing was here, you had to wait. It's not like you could have, you saw this setup and then yeah, let me take that short. First of all, you're not taking this short with 2 minutes and change left. That's first of all. Like I'm just saying, if you were to arbitrarily just take the trade based on where you think the market is going to go. Like you're looking at it, you're like, hey, I think it's going to go down. Nah, you're not basing no decision off of what you're thinking. You have to base your decision off of what the market is doing. So you could see from here the market begin to transition. And this is what I was saying about if it's going to transition out of the behavior. Now, it may not transition out the behavior, but that still doesn't mean that it's in sync. Even if behavior is still present, the market is still out of position. And if the market is still out of position, it still ain't going to be nothing there. So you still have to wait. So now during this transition, it's actually extending its range. Now the range is larger, and you can see it's still doing it. So now it's like 2 pips, 2 full pips, or 20 micro pips in range from here to there. So it's moving, and it's not remaining right now. It's actually extending the range. Look, it's still doing it. But what you do have is that the market behavior is still present for now. So what could happen? You could actually see something like when we get to the last minute of the binary, if the market moves in position relative to the strike during the last minute, even though the range has been extended, if it does that, it could set up because we know that the behavior is still there. And this, see, I'm not going through this to confuse you. I'm going through this to show you how the market transitions. Anytime that you see that it moved and it's remaining in position and it's very, it's in a very slow environment, the range plays a role in that to let you know that it's moving in position and remaining inside of that range. We got to see during this example how it transitions out of the range and increases the range. But you're still dealing with behavior. You're still dealing with environment. Phases 1 and 2 are still in play. Is it moving too fast? No. It's still moving slow. How's the behavior? So far, the behavior's still there. So where did the market got in position now? And that's where you're left off at, you see. So once again, observation answers the question. Because it's like, all right, let's see if it gets in position. And let's see if it does get in position. Let me see what it does right here with this 2503. So this right here will be a good observation. Just watch. Just watch the behavior. And also just watch what it does. Because you know that it's extending the range, so it's moving. Look at your pricing. So this right here letting you know that you're out of sync anyway. And there's the speed. There's the burst right there. You saw that? So look at how much information we just got from the market. It started back here. It started here. We started to see it right in here. You saw it extending the range. You saw that the behavior was still present. You see now the behavior is actually still present. The behavior is still there. Just now, it did get in position, but it was out of sync. You see that? So, any way that you look at it, you know how to navigate based on what the market does, period. And it doesn't matter what tool that you're using, you're not basing a decision to trade off of the tools. You're basing your interpretation of the market off of the tools. And your interpretation of the market is always going to bring you back to square one, which is, well, there ain't no MRMH. So in other words, I have not seen a valid trade setup in this environment. So even though this represented a beautiful time right here, this right here was awesome. This was excellent. But the market was out of position throughout this time. So you didn't have anything that's set up. Now market's transitioning, cool. Behavior's still there. Will behavior remain? It could. Will you know? Yes. Will you know if it doesn't remain? Yes. Well, what do? Observe. You really don't do nothing until MRMH comes anyway. So you see like how the MRMH now has even more clarity because of how you know that you can apply tools just to be able to do more with what you're seeing the market doing at the time. It's not that you're trying to figure out how to get into a trade. That's not what we're doing. We're interpreting what the market is doing. And that either means that we don't do anything, or it means that we're waiting for the market to get in position, sync up, present us with a valid trade at the right time, MRMH. See, so it's MRMH anyway. That's why that's always the answer to whatever question that you have. Well, Mark, what if it does this and this and this? Okay, well, was it MRMH? Nah, well, why not? Oh, because it priced out. If it priced out, it's not in sync. You can't force yourself into a trade that's pricing out. If it's pricing out, it's pricing out for a reason. It's out of sync still. So you see what I'm saying? Like, there are times when the market is in sync and you'll see the range small. Those are instances where you might see me take a trade that I call a skill trade. But I've already done the prerequisite work. I already know that the market is in sync. You see? I knew that. There wouldn't have been a trade if I didn't know that. And I also knew that the environment was right and the time was right. That's why when you see the trade that I'm in, it holds. It's like, well, then, how did he know that? This is what we already do. We do it already. So what MRMH does, MRMH actually speeds everything up for you. Because if you're waiting for that to be presented to you through observation, once it comes, then you know that you have the permission. Because you know that the market is now actually in the best position that it could possibly be in. Because you saw it actually validate a trade at the right time. You saw it. That was the MRMH. MRMH is the truth, man. Any way you look at it. Any way you look at it. Adam said, but you may not necessarily need a large range once it's in position. No, you don't. Nope, that was the example that I just was given. Nope, you do not. You guys have seen instances where it sets up 5 micropips away and gives you +1. In a small range. You'll have seen that set up in ranges that look like this. You've seen that set up with this. This is what I'm saying. MRMH has set up with the market looking like that. Then there's times where the MRMH is set up and the range is bigger. It depends on what the market is doing at the time. They don't always look the same because the market is not always doing the same thing. At this point, would you consider this the start of a new range for observation? What do you mean by that? I need you to be more specific with that. I like what Jay Carly said just now. She said that skill trades should be removed from vocabulary. I agree with that because I don't want you to think that that's something like extraordinary that goes on. It's the same thing. But what it means is that you did not wait for necessarily the MRMH. But the question becomes, do you have the audacity to do that? See, you got to know that. And if you do have the audacity, why? What is it that you're doing that's giving you the confidence to know that you're going to take that trade if you see it? So that definitely I agree with. He said, I mean, how far back would you go to determine the range? Or am I, yeah, you're overthinking it. The range is where we at now. Like, I'm not even, I just use that to give you examples. But, like, this your range. This. The current binary. If you had to put it in the box, which I literally just did, I literally just put it in the box. If you have to box it in, use the current binary. So better yet, here, let's do this. This your range right here. Yo, you get the corny joke of the year award. Yes, I love it. That was good though. I like that. I ain't gonna lie. You know how it'd be so corny that it's mad funny? He said, don't think outside the box. Yeah. I give you your props on that one. That was good. So look, Adam, to answer your question, look at what the price is doing now. You see? So like, this is why if you're going to use this exercise, don't curve fit it. Just like I tell you with everything. Don't try to curve fit nothing. Don't try to, like, oh, there's a rule for this now. No. There's not rules. It's observation. You observing everything anyway. Like, you're looking. You see what it's doing. So it's kind of like whatever the question is that you have, you already can answer the question because you're looking at it yourself. Look, this is a good example to use right here. Let's use this one. And I like that. Otis said the only rule is to observe. Yes. That's the rule. Observation mode. Yes, exactly. So look at this now, what the market is doing. Right? We're coming on the last minute now of this binary. Question. Is the market in position? Yes or no? Quick. Yes or no? Is it in position? Come on, baby. Yes. Oh, I got a mixed bag. Uh-oh. Ooh, and it's even, too. 3 and 3. Come on, somebody else give me an answer. Is the market in position? Yes or no? He said some autocorrect issues. So we got 4 yeses, 3 nos. Yeah, it was melted Swiss too. Yeah. Melted Swiss with the turkey? Yeah, man. It was good too. All right, so let me analyze these answers. Who said maybe? That's Stacy. Talk about maybe. Otis said, change my answer to yes because it was in favorable pricing to the strike. It moved, so it wasn't a stall. Let me get another response. Mick, you here? Mick is here. Matthew's here too, right? Matthew, what you think about that? Was that one in position just now? Yes or no? voice of experience. Nope. Nope. The answer to that question is no. So, no, it was not in position. And no to that question. Isn't the market always in position when it's near strike? No. It is not always in position. Now, let's think about that. She said I quit. Let's think about that for a second, right? Now, check this out. And let's use this as an example. Damn, and I wish it would have did it, but it didn't. It did it on the next one. Look. You see where this set up? This set up about 3 micropips above the strike, right? If this would have been this candle, I hate to say candle, if this would have happened, this movement would have happened during this minute, which was the last minute of the previous binary, it would have done what? What would it have done? And I want you to use the wording properly. Look at that. Come on, man. Come on. You see what Matthew said? It would have moved into position. It wasn't in position yet. How many times do we talk about, well, Mark, what if it starts at 2 or 3 micropips away? What does it have to do? It has to go up to 5. If it starts at 3, it has to go 4, 5, and then give you the +1. That's valid. Right? What if it was already 5 micropips above the strike? What would it had to have done? +1. See, come on. Tiffany's with me. Matthew's with me. JT is with me. J. Carly says she quit, so I don't know if she's with me right now. And who else has said no earlier? David said no. JT did say no too, I think. Yeah, JT said no. Correct. And Ronnie's saying the +1. Right. Right. Exactly. The +1 and then the whole at the end. Exactly. That would have been MRMH right there. So you see how the whole exercise that we have been doing tonight, look at what it's leading you into. It just went full circle. What is it leading you back into? MRMH. You see what I'm saying? It's leading you right back to where we always gonna take it anywhere. The MRMH. We know if it would have done that on that example, that would have been the MRMH right there. And we know why. So anytime you hear me say the market moved in position, understand that when it moves in position and it remains in position, when you see it ranging, right, you still have to have pricing on the option, which means that it still has to be what? In sync. You see? So you see how it's not like anything becomes the be-all, end-all. It's never that. It's always the culmination of everything that we need to see. When the market lines everything up and everything is cohesive, then that's when the trade comes. The prerequisite to that is the right time, the right timing. What creates the right timing? Phases 1 and 2. Environment and behavior. That creates the right timing. J. Carly says, so in position relative to a strike means it has to be at 5 +1 or step up to, yes. Bingo. But you already knew that, J. Carly. So you were asking for a friend, I would imagine. Even Buddha said, you tripping. But does that make sense? Otis has it. But that makes sense to you guys, right? And it's so funny because you know how many times we've gone over that? Like, we almost literally go over that in every training. But, you know, and I understand that it's because we're talking about a different perspective of seeing it. It seems like it's different, but it ain't. It's the same thing. That's it. That's all we're doing. It's the same protocol. It's the same thing. Yes, indeed. Same thing. Yep. Adam said I was with you. Not sure if that makes you feel better or worse. Jay Carly said I can't watch 390 again. Why not? Now you should watch it again, because it's going to give you even more clarity. So, okay, so matter of fact, yeah, I actually want to hear this now. Unmute for a second. Come on and talk. I want to hear. Where you at, Jay Carly?
Sorry, I had to get my microphone thing.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to unmute. I feel like I just started and you're making me again. That's not my understanding. I thought that we were talking about it being in position. That didn't have anything to do with it being in sync. If being in sync means that we're going to look to follow the parameters and wait for MRMH anyway.
Yeah.
So on 390, when we watched the candle and you're like, who thinks it's going to stay below, and it was only 1 micropip below, and we're all like, it's going to stay below, that wasn't in position then, because it was only 1 micropip below. Why am
I see what you're saying now. So, okay, so based on what I just described just now, why did I say that just now it wasn't in position when it had the distance away, and at the time what we were looking at would have been the reason that it was not in position? Why would I say that? Or why did I say that?
I don't know, because I thought it was in position.
So, okay.
I'm always watching to take a trade. What are you talking about?
All right, so here. So let me ask this then. So in 390, when I went over that example and I just asked that question, why did I ask that question? Like what was I really asking?
To see if we'd had understanding about observation.
Right, but was I asking more so for the edification of it being in position relative to you trading that taking that trade, or being in position relative to where it moved to and where it was remaining?
Are you sure you didn't go to like Yale? What does edification mean? What the hell? You made me feel so dumb. Like, I'm mad smart, and then I talk to you and I'm like, just retarded. What the hell is edification?
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
Okay, efficacy, the other one about being audacious. Like, how many words have I learned so far? So many. I try to talk to other people. They don't know what I'm saying either. It must be a New York City thing.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so I don't know what that means, but you might need to re-ask the question in blonde words.
All right, and this is good because if you're doing it, I know that someone else definitely is going to do it. So we definitely have to go through it real quick. All right, so the purpose of me asking that in 390, remember that we were looking at the market moving in position and remaining in position in order to identify if it was stable or not, right?
Mhm.
Because the stability in the market is where we need to be first before anything happens. So it's more so being able to know whether now is a good time if a trade sets up, not if now is a good time to trade. In other words, once you see that the market is stable, if the market still ain't in position, is there a trade?
I'm going to throw my laptop across the freaking room. I thought, no, I can't even tell you what I thought.
I kind of know what you thought.
You know what I thought, and you know what I said, and you know why. Because when I said, this clarifies every trade that I've watched that you took that looked exactly like that with one micropip. But then I had to go, now I see I have to go back and realize that you also said, I'm not showing you to do this.
Right.
But all I hear is, Jay Carly, I'm showing you to do this. So I don't think about everybody else. So, okay, I get it now. I'm with you.
Okay.
I have to put on a different brain because I'm always looking if I can take a trade or no.
Hey, it's me, JT. Hey, can I also say that...
Please do, sir.
Okay, so like Mark also mentioned in chat earlier a big key, which was how important that stability is. So we really want to see that stability first before we even try to determine anything. Because if there's no stability, there's no point of really even trying to, go into like the range and all that. Because then what's going to end up happening is you're going to set up for a trade, and you're going to, it might win, but you could lose. You see what I'm saying? And that's way more dangerous.
Right, but for us but we already know stability like the back of our hand.
Right.
So the extra about what we went over in 390 was just extra for us because we know how to tell if there's stability or not.
Exactly.
And I'm never taking a trade at 2 minutes anyway, so it's always going to have pricing. But I'm going to know it's in position by if it held the position it was already in from the previous candle, air quote, from the previous price. So if it ended, if the previous candle moved and ended, and then the new candle opened where the previous one ended, I know that it's still in position where it was before. If it happens to have pricing and it's under the minute and it meets the parameters or it meets my ability of observation, then I'm going to take it.
See, this is the Jay Carly that shines and wins in the market. When you overthink Jay Carly, I think that's when you get in trouble because you already know this
stuff. Yes, that's true.
Like you just said it. Like you just said it, but you just asked the question. But you just answered it yourself. Like you know it.
I'm just here to help out. I'm just here so I don't get fired.
That's why she be talking to the third person all the time.
Oh my God.
But you good now?
Yeah, I'm good now.
All right.
Yo, I'm good. Okay, bye.
All right. Excellent. Yeah, he hit it right on the head. He called that one. Oh, man. Not the first time. Not the first time. But this, and I'm sure that this is something that various people kind of experience. And like I say all the time, this is why I always encourage you guys to speak up anytime that you have something that you might not have the full clarity on, or you're questioning something that you think is the case, then just through review and then reinforcement and repetition, you know, you come to realize that it was the same thing that we've been talking about the whole time anyway. So I definitely appreciate when you guys do that, because we get even more clarity on what we're doing, you know. So it's just, you know, that's all. Like, the elevation process is exactly that. We're moving up to higher levels. So as you move up, it's like you're kind of letting go of a level that has not as much experience on it, and then you're moving up to one that has more experience on it. So it seems like it's different, but it ain't. It's the same thing you was doing the whole time. You're just doing it now, and you're kind of held responsible and accountable for the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And that's true too. She said overthinking leads to underperforming. Very true. Because you can overthink your way into or out of a trade. Think about that. How many times have you overthought your way out of a trade? You're like, wait, where was I? Well, how did I miss that trade? You know, a trade that several people might have taken. And you're like, damn, I was on the charts at that time. Why didn't I see that? Because, you know, your mind might be elsewhere at the time. So your focus is not on the process. You might be overcomplicating it or whatever it is at the time, you know. So that's what, you know, like, now you see why I train like this. I have to do this because you know, like, the juice man is real. The juice man is not like, you know, that's not a fabrication or like a figment of your imagination. You the juice man, and you trying every day not to become the juice man. The more that you learn, you're like, wait, I could do that. Why can't I do that? Let me try that. That's the juice man, talking you into doing just stupidity. Next thing you know, you doing stuff, you're like, wait, I took 3 trades today? And you're like, yeah, you took 3 trades today. Juice man is retarded. He doesn't know and have a filter, and he is a part of you. And you will become the juice man if you don't train yourself and condition yourself not to be him. It's real. It's real. Adam said, if you record, you can go back and watch it, learn why you didn't and why lots of other people did, and learn from it. Facts. Facts. That's factual all day long. I'm over here talking. Is this one right here set up? Nope. Might have set up, but that right there ain't gonna do it. That right there. See, so this is like a good example of why we remain in the observation mode. This is actually a good thing right here to talk about. Here, let's talk about this real quick.
Hey, that's what I was about to say, Mark.
Yeah, this is actually a good example.
Yeah.
This is a good example right here to use. Good. Matter of fact, JT, talk about this real quick.
All I'm going to say is this one is a winner. That's all. That's how clear cut and dry I am with it. Like, this one is a winner, and the time is not even up yet. This is it. Watch this. Because, okay, I'm still on. Because what we're doing is we're running off the stability of the market. Can I hear?
Yeah, you on.
Oh, we're running, like, it's like putting gas in a car, right? The stability is kind of like the fuel for the tank. We're not taking any trades until we have stability anyway, okay? The MRMH is ran off of stability of the market. We cannot have that without it. I think that once that becomes clear, then you'll be able to see, like, I see these winners all the time, and it's not because it's like me guessing. It's just I don't know. I train and I just get it. I don't know, and I try to keep it as simple as possible.
You start feeling the market.
Right. And it's funny because it's not that feeling, it's almost like the market is calling you. like it's like saying like a but it's not like one of those sirens where it's calling you to lead you to destruction or disaster. It's like, because like look at how Mark was like, hey, wait a minute, let's study this one. The market called him right there. It called me too. I saw that. That's feeling, but we're understanding more of why that feeling is happening.
Right. Exactly. Learning how to understand the why behind it.
Yep.
Powerful stuff, man.
Oh, it's super powerful. This is extreme. Like, this is monster music to me. My training, this is monster music. Like, I love it.
Very good. Excellent, man. Excellent. I appreciate you guys for coming on. I think that and that's another thing too. If you guys ever want to unmute and ask questions or, you know, make a comment or whatever the case may be, please feel free to do that. Please feel free to do that. Let me see. Makari said, didn't the last one backtick? The last one set up first, and I believe it validated. I looked at it at the last minute. So I saw, by the time I saw it was over 83, but it was already at, 7 micropips above, and it had moved up to that. So I didn't even watch the whole thing. I just saw the last part of it. But the fact that it validated and set up, and what I wanted to draw attention to also was this, the range.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The range. That's what I wanted to point out. So, you know, like that was a good example to use to show you what happens when you have the market moving within a range and it has stability within the range. What is likely to happen, not that you're trying to predict what the market is going to do, but you can see based on where the market is moving and how it's remaining in position, what it's doing. Look at this. Look at this. Just look at this area. There's a common theme that you're seeing here. It's stability of this pricing. The where the market is right now, the positioning of it relative to this line is only 3 micropips above. But is this stable? Yeah. Yes, it is. See, like this right here. Look at your pricing. Look at your option pricing. And I'm only showing you this just so that you can observe this. Now watch what this ends up doing. Just pay attention. Really? Y'all getting cookies? When do y'all stop eating? When you're sleeping? That's a good answer. That's an honest answer. I said, when do you stop eating? He said, when we're sleeping. That is the honest answer right there. Okay. And what did price do? What did it do? Now, see, and that's not me saying, yeah, you could have took that trade. I'm just saying, it's not even about taking a trade. It's about recognizing when you see this. Now, what happens when you see this and then you get 5 plus 1? What happens when you see this and it sets up? How confident are you going to be to pull the trigger and take the trade?
That's permission, Mark. I was just going to say, like those two trades, those two binaries that we just watched, like if nobody was paying attention and just started watching from that point, you could have sworn we had an MRMH on the chart.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
Because that's the same thing. Man, MRMH is so safe. Like it's ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous. Like you can, I don't know. It's ridiculous, Mark. It's the truth, man. It really is.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. My goodness. Yo, Walker's crazy. Oh, snap. All right, so we out of here, man. It's 11:40, and don't nobody ever say nothing. We just keep going. You're still here, still training. Just as crazy as me. All right, new folks, video number 301 needs to be ran on repeat. Also watch 336, watch number 390. Keep number 301 on repeat. Tonight's training is also awesome. This was a very solid training tonight. This exercise right here, I don't have a name for it yet. Right now I'm just calling it positioning. This is a good exercise right here to use. This training tonight should be available within the next half hour or so in the playlist. We'll be back on training tomorrow night, same time, same place. No, well, actually, no, not same time, because tonight I came on kind of late. But we'll be back at it tomorrow. If you have questions or concerns, issues, anything that you need, post it in the group chat. And stay close in the group chat. That's where the fire is. And that's it. I will see you guys momentarily in the group chat and see you guys on training mañana. Love, peace, and soul, y'all. Good night.